I never meant to hurt you.
I never meant to make you.
I never intended to hurt you. I never intended to make you cry yet. This evening, Kanye West has totally reshaped the scene of hip bounce. It was a much-needed refresher when he originally showed up on the music scene. His rap style included clever wit and an extraordinary mix of sound that eventually recognized him from different rappers. He became one of the most powerful performers within recent memory anyway. The rapper has been known to display numerous problematic ways of behaving and offer awkward comments that has left many stunned. Yet imagine a scenario in which there was a reality to Ye's many comments and is presently viewed as a danger to a specific gathering. The present video will zero in on Ice Block's disclosures that Kanye West could be in peril because of his unsteady path. Before we get into it, hit that buy-in button so you can get advised of all the most recent superstar news. Currently, we should make a plunge. Ice 3D Shape has uncovered that a mystery gathering of the business watchmen have attempted to demolish his vocation and take out Kanye West. In a new meeting, 3D Square discussed getting with Kanye and shared more data about how the Hollywood elites and guards attempted to depict him in a terrible light and eliminate him from the scene anyway. Individuals' responses to Ice 3D Shape's enemy of gatekeepers visit have been blended. A few fans accept he ought to continue to uncover the business clouded side, while others are of the assessment that he ought to stay silent and have proceeded to name him as a dishonest scheme scholar. Yet, before we dive into the subtleties, we should find out what truly caused the hamburger between Ice 3D Shape and Kanye. The pair had been longtime companions, yet their fellowship encountered a difficult situation last year when Kanye offered disputable remarks about Solid Shape during an appearance on the digital broadcast Drink Winners. The contention started in October when Kanye was blamed for offering a few entirely high comments in his tweets, which he later explained were aimed at specific obscure Hollywood chiefs attempting to hurt him. Regardless of his clarification, Kanye confronted extreme results, driving him to be promptly boycotted, losing various rewarding agreements, and getting restricted from all virtual entertainment stages. Yet Kanye didn't withdraw. Rather, he began his web recording visit to uncover the business' vile endeavors to ruin him. During one of these digital recording appearances, Kanye said a disturbing episode from 2016. He uncovered how he was placed on a mental hold despite the fact that he was misdiagnosed. He indicated that his controller could have attempted to harm him with lithium, a drug utilized for emotional well-being conditions. Kanye proceeded to say how they needed to give him an excess of lithium, which he rejected. He accepted that it was the ideal choice, and the story would have been different had he paid attention to them. Kanye proceeded to uncover that he accepts that they have done likewise to Britney Lances and Michael Jackson. He communicated worries about the drawn-out impacts of the guard's prescription and what it meant for Britney Lance's cerebrum throughout the long term. And an insane wind. Aaron Carter, a previous pop star, was accounted for dead in his bath not long after he tweeted to Kanye that they expected to talk. This happened a long time after Kanye had made these cases. As per Kanye, Aaron Carter needed to discuss Harley Pasternak, Kanye's ex-fitness coach, who purportedly took steps to have him standardized. He said that on the off chance that it were him that they killed, the fault would have been placed on his psychological well-being. As of now, individuals estimated that there probably been a reality to all that Kanye expressed, since there were basically an excessive number of happenstances that didn't make any sense concerning Ice 3D Square. He, at first, picked shows not to answer Kanye's remarks, despite the fact that he had confronted allegations of hostile Semitism. Anyway, the circumstance changed when Kanye showed up on a show and declared that Block had affected his perspectives. Kanye communicated that Q assumed a huge part in molding his viewpoint. I was acquainted with Eminem music. Ice 3D Shape, feeling unreasonably faulted for impacting Kanye and advancing his unpredictable way of behaving, took to Twitter to safeguard himself. He expressed that he had no contribution in Kanye's convictions. Ice 3D Shape additionally communicated dissatisfaction at having his name hauled into the conversation. He said, "I don't have the foggiest idea what ye implied by his proclamations. You must ask him. I didn't return the batteries in his 3D Shape." Likewise explained that he didn't uphold or advance Kanye's perspectives and asked individuals not to connect him with such perspectives. He was more unpolished in a meeting with Mike Tyson where he said he wouldn't be hauled into Kanye's theatrics. I mean, when someone turn it out then say he did it as a result of Got to express something about that without truly making sense of what he implied, and I very couldn't forget about that explanation there. Without you realize he never made sense of what he implied anyway. 3D Square seems to have accommodated with Kanye months after the fact as he was found. In June, grinning and embracing the rapper outside his home in Marina del Rey. So what compelled Ice Block adjust his perspective towards Kanye? Perhaps it had to do with Ice 3D Shape's famous video on Twitter, where he scrutinized Hollywood watchmen and framed his arrangement to uncover the secret business that evidently endeavored to wipe out Kanye in the video. Ice 3D Square referenced that the guards became vexed when somebody declined their encouragement to join their club. However, he didn't unequivocally specify the name of the glove anyway. Fans promptly hopped on saying that they comprehended who he was discussing. 3D Square blamed the NBA and the media for attempting to demolish his 3-on-3 B-Ball Association, the enormous three. He said that this happened in light of the fact that he's not piece of their club. This caused many individuals to inquire as to whether Ice 3D Shape was not keen on working with the NBA any longer, yet Ice Block guaranteed that Premium had nothing to do with it except for rather the way that they were attempting to neutralize him was deterring. He said they ought to stop the pointless exercises they were doing in the background and say you realize he did it. You got to express something about that. You understand what I'm talking about. It resembles home. 3D Shape shared that he will start meeting and showing up on webcasts on the grounds that he felt liable for uncovering and standing up against the problematic things he has seen in the business. He said he intends to go on a web recording visit to converse with different guardians in a new appearance on the Joe Rogan digital recording. 3D Shape unveiled that he turned down a $9 million film job since he would not take the desired antibody. Shape at first needed to try not to openly make sense of why he turned down the film job. Tragically, somebody released the data to the press, and he was wrongly marked as hostile to immunization. He felt it was out of line to uncover his clinical status without his assent anyway. In a new discussion with Logan Paul, 3D Shape explained that he was not against want antibodies. He said he accepted that individuals ought to be allowed to pick as opposed to unstrained or terrified into making the effort. You've stressed that he isn't against antibodies overall and has been inoculated on various occasions all through his life. He communicated worries about individuals losing their positions or confronting family clashes because of this issue. You turned down a $9 million film job in 2021 on the grounds that you wouldn't take the coronavirus antibody as being commanded in Hollywood at the time. Any second thoughts? There's truckload of cash, not by it. Nye stretched to the side that Block acknowledged he responded too furiously when Kanye referenced him in his Beverage Champions interview, which is the reason he was sorry to Ye. Block stressed for Kanye's life subsequent to seeing the business's guards' readiness to eliminate anybody who attempted to revolt against them. In regards to Cuban Ye's current relationship, Shape as of late said that they're based on magnificent conditions and have never had any serious struggle. Shape was gotten some information soon about Kanye's articulations on drink winners during an appearance on Wharf's Morgan Uncensored, and Shape asserted that the main explanation he isolated himself from those words at the time was that Kanye didn't